Hello, welcome to this new VMC Helix Remedyforce webinar. My name is Jair Ramos, and today we are going to review how to use the Remedyforce or the Salesforce Mobile app and some of their best practices. Remember that if you have any questions, please put those in the chat. We will answer those there. So let's review the agenda for today. First, we're going to do a quick overview about the service desk on Salesforce One mobile app. Basically, I'm going to show you how you can set up and configure the view for all your staff members in the mobile app. Then we're going to do a quick overview of the self-service on the Salesforce One mobile app. Basically, here we are going to see how we can set up and configure the self-service for all their clients so they can use the mobile app to submit cases, but we'll review this information on this webinar. So let's start with the first topic for today. So let's start with a quick overview about the service desk on Salesforce One mobile app. Salesforce One enables users to access applications on mobile devices. Staff members can also access to VMC Helix Remedyforce on mobile devices. If your staff members require to access to VMC Remedyforce on the go, you can enable them access to the service desk on Salesforce One mobile app. So basically, your staff member will have a dedicated application, we can say that, to manage their incidents or tasks. But let me show you the scope of this application for staff members. So let's review some of the actions that the staff members can perform. So for example, for the incident model, they can view all incidents. They can view the incidents where they are part of the queue. They can also see incidents that they are the staff of that incident. They can create incidents. They can perform some actions like knowledge search. They can link knowledge articles from their search results to related incidents. They can view the action history, add note, emails. They can respond to emails. They can create and link tasks. They can also view related CI and assets. You can also link or unlink configuration items on those incidents. You can close incidents, and you can see the service target, which means basically the SLAs. So now let's review the actions that can be performed on the task model, such as view all tasks, view the task where the staff user is part of the queue. They can see the tasks where they are the staff user assigned to that particular task. They can create new tasks. They can perform some actions like view the action history, add a note, send an email, close a task, and check the SLA. For broadcast, they can see all the list of open broadcasts. On knowledge articles, they can search for knowledge articles. In the Service Desk mobile app, the users receive push notifications for approvals, comments on user posts, and so on from the Salesforce One platform. If you want to get more information, you can check this article, and you can review that information if you want to learn more about those push notifications. So there are some considerations or points that we need to be aware of while working with the Remedyforce mobile app. I'm going to highlight some of them, but you can check this article just to review all the considerations that you need to check. For templates, you need to make sure these settings are enabled, just to make sure that the templates will work as expected on the mobile app. Then the maximum number of records display. The record list view displayed at maximum of 500 open records in the Service Desk mobile app. So the next thing that you need to check is the lookup field display maximum of 20 records on the lookup page. For example, if you have 25 categories, the category lookup page display a maximum of 20 categories. However, the users can search for additional records, but if they don't know the records, the record names, they won't be able to find that record. So you just need to be aware of this limitation. So here you will find some other considerations related to the assignment details. We're gonna leave this for now. We're gonna keep the current configuration that we have in our org, and then you will see some other settings for configuration items and assets on the CMDB. So probably we'll review that model on a different webinar, because it is a huge model and settings that we need to check, especially for the CMDB. So here are some limitations related to email conversation settings, such as the VCC field is not displayed on the mobile application, so just be aware about that setting. So here you will also find a table related to permissions for CIN assets, but we'll cover this probably in a future video on our YouTube channel, so stay tuned. So based on what I already explained it to you, I would like to show you how the staff members will see the mobile app. So let's move on to that point. So this is how the VMC Helix Remedyforce app looks like. Here in the drop down menu, as I already mentioned, you can see all the tickets that are assigned to the logon staff user, or the tickets that the user is part of a specific queue. And you can see the models such as incident, task, broadcast. On broadcast we can see all the active open broadcast on the org and knowledge article. So I would like to start navigating through the incident model. So let's say that I want to create a new incident. So what I need to do is I need to click on the plus sign, and here I can fill all the data in order to create a new incident using the mobile app. So let me change this view to all, so at least I can see 9 tickets based on the permissions that I have with this user, with this staff user that I'm using to log in into the mobile app. So here the staff user should be able to change between different views, such as all assigned to me, or based on the queue that the staff user is part of. So another model that I would like to check with you is knowledge articles. As you can see, I'm able to see all the knowledge base that I have in my org. I can search for a specific knowledge article. So let me go back to the incident model and let me open any open ticket that I have, just to show you some of the actions that we can do within the incident model. I already explained some of them, but I just want to show you. For example, you can attach an attachment to this particular incident. So if you click on the 3 dots, you will see some other actions that you can perform, like knowledge articles. You can search for knowledge articles within this incident. You can view the action history, add some notes, send an email. You can close the incident. You can view the files that are linked to this record. And this button helps you to save the changes. Unfortunately, I didn't do any change, but let's do something. Let's add something in the description. Test mobile, and now let's click on the save button. Okay, let me just go back to the ticket and see if the changes were applied, which it worked correctly. As I already mentioned, the tickets or the incidents and tasks that I'm able to see, as well as knowledge article, are depending on the permissions and the sharing rules that I have set for this user. So now that you see all the potential that this application has and all the actions and the models that are available for the staff users, let me show you how we can start configuring this for them. So now let's review how to enable the service desk on Salesforce One mobile app. To enable the service desk mobile app, the first thing that we need to check is to ensure that the API enabled checkbox is checked at the profile level. So let me show you how you can do that. So in your org, under the setup menu, let's go to quick find and type users. In this case, I selected users because from there I'll go to profiles, but you can go directly to profiles. And you need to make sure that you check this setting for all the profiles that you have related to staff users. In this case, I'm using the services staff profile. So let me click on this profile. But again, you need to do the same process if you have multiple profiles for staff users. or users that will use the Salesforce One mobile app. Let's click edit. Let's do Control F and type API, and this is the setting, API enable, and the checkbox is checked, so it means that the first step is completed. So the next points that we need to check are enable Salesforce One for your organization and enable Salesforce One for a user. So let me explain you both points together. So let's go to your org. Under the setup menu, let's go to the quick find and let's type mobile. Here let's select Salesforce navigation, and from available tabs we need to select Remedyforce Mobile, and let's just put it on selected tabs, and I'm gonna just move it at the top. I'm doing this because I want the Remedyforce Mobile as the landing application after a staff member log into the Salesforce One application. I'm going to keep this at the top of the selected list, but in this case, based on the network bandwidth, when staff member logs, the first time can take longer than usual. So let me show you how you can grant access to the Salesforce One mobile app, or how you can prevent all users from accessing to the Salesforce app. So the first option will remove access to the app for the app users, including admins. So we don't want this option for us. So let's move to the second option. So here are the steps that we need to follow in order to determine which users gain access to the Salesforce One mobile app. We need to go to the connected apps in our org and just change the setting to admin approved users are pre-authorized. So I'm going to show you also how we will grant access after we change this setting, but let me show you how we can do it on our org. So let's go to Remedyforce, or Salesforce in this case. On the quick find, let's type app, and we need to select manage connected apps. Here we will find the app for iOS and Android. So based on the article, we need to click edit, and we need to change the permitted users to admin approved users are pre-authorized. Let's click OK, and now let's scroll down and click save. And based on the article, we need to do the same thing for the Android app. So doing this, it means that no one should have access to use the Salesforce One mobile app. I'm going to show you how you can do how you can grant access to the Salesforce One mobile app through the profile, and you can do the same thing at the permission set level. So let me show you how you can grant the access to the Salesforce One mobile app using profiles. So on the quick find, let's go to profiles. So in this case, I'm gonna modify the service desk staff, which is the one I'm using to test the service desk Salesforce One app for staff users. So here we need to click edit, and let's do Control F and type iOS. As you can see, I already have this setting enabled for iOS for this specific profile, but let me check the checkbox for Android. So doing this, all the staff users who has the service desk staff profile assigned to them will be able to log into the Salesforce One mobile app using Android or iOS. It depends on the requirements of your company. So if you don't want to use profiles, you can use permission sets, and you can assign the permission set to a specific user just to grant this access. So now let's check how to configure settings for Service Desk on Salesforce One mobile app. You can configure the following in Service Desk on Salesforce One mobile app, which is for staff members: list view, lookup filters, session timeouts, forms, incident task, and CIs or assets. So now let's check each one of these settings. So now, in order to help you to configure some of the list views, we need to go back to your org, Under the setup menu, on the quick find, let's type object. In this case, we're gonna do this for the incident object. Click on object manager, but as you can see, we can do it for CIN assets and the task model. So on the quick find, let's type incident, select the incident object, and let's go to field sets. Something that I do here is I do Control F and type mobile, just to check the description of the field set that are on the incident object. In this case, okay, I don't need this one, so let me do next. Okay, so this one. So specify the fields for the incident form in the Remedyforce Mobile Analyst. So it's the staff user. So let me click on this field set. And something that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna compare the fields that are on this field set with the ones that I can see on the application while I'm creating an incident. So let's compare these fields with the ones that are when I create an incident through the mobile app: client ID, category, template, description, resolution. So as you can see, those are the same fields that I'm able to see when I create an incident. So in order to show you this, let me remove broadcast. Let me click save. And now let me go back to the mobile app. I'm gonna do a refresh. Let me click on new again, and as you can see, there is no broadcast anymore. So that field set controls all the available fields when you create a new incident using the mobile app. So another list view that I would like to show you is when we go to incidents. Okay, let me just change the view to all to see at least some records. And as you can see, these fields: client name, created date, client email, client BAP. So let me go back to field sets and tap and search for mobile. And the next one that I would like to show you is this one: specify the fields that are displayed in the record list view in Remedyforce Mobile. So if we click on the field set, you can see 4 fields which are exactly the same ones that we can see here. So let me remove client BAP and add category. Just put it on the 3rd position. Let me click save. And now on the mobile app, let me do a refresh. And let me change the view again to all incidents, and now you can see how we change it. It is not displaying any category because that ticket does not have a category, but as you can see, this is the field set that controls that particular view under incidents. You can check or documentation or articles if you want to get more information about considerations that you need to be aware of. One that is important, I think, it's about lookup filters. Lookup filters are not supported in the service desk on Salesforce One mobile app. So if you have lookup filters, those won't work. So you need to be aware of this limitation because it is extremely important. And then you can check the session timeout. We won't do this because it is similar than the session timeout that you use or you can create on your org. You can see also some consideration for incident and task and CIs, but right now you have all the options and knowledge to set this up for your staff users. So now let me show you how we can do this for clients. So now that we configured the app for staff users, let's do it for clients. So Salesforce One is a platform for hosting mobile application and enables you to access data in real time on handheld devices. You can configure the self-service on Salesforce One mobile app, other words, the self-service mobile app, which is for clients. The self-service mobile app make it easy for users to navigate and read through the data on the mobile device so that they can review and update information more quickly. So let's do a quick overview about the actions that a self-service user, a client user can perform using the self-service mobile app. So let's move on and see all the list of actions and available models for the clients. Here on this table you will find all the actions that can be performed by a client for each module. So for tickets, a client can search and view common use ticket templates. They can submit tickets for self or on behalf of their users. They can filter submitted tickets based on view for them or other people. They can filter by state, all open and closed. For the service request model, they can submit service requests. They can filter. It's the same thing for the ticket model. They can view CI and assets. They can check the broadcast messages, search for knowledge articles, and a cool feature is the VMC Remedyforce chat. They can chat with a staff member to resolve their issues. So now let me show you how the self-service looks on the mobile app. So as you can see here, I'm able to see all the broadcast messages at the top, and then you will see different menus like view tickets and requests, submit a ticket, request a service. For create a ticket, you can see that I can create a ticket for myself and behalf of someone else. So let me just click back. Here you can also request a service. You can see all the categories for request a service. I can also view my asset, check common request. So basically what we just saw in the documentation here, if I try to see one of my tickets, let's click on here, and you can see more details about this particular request that I submitted. You can attach an attachment. So there are a couple of actions that you can perform using the mobile app, especially for the self-service. As you can see here, there are a lot of options that you can use. This is pretty useful for clients so they can view their tickets, submit tickets, request service using their phone. So in order to enable the self-service on Salesforce One mobile app, clients must use the Remedyforce Mobile tab in the Remedyforce One mobile app to access to the self-service on the Salesforce One mobile app, which is for clients. This topic explains the settings for enabling the self-service mobile app for the clients. So I'm going to show you the process of how we can configure these settings for clients. So in order to do that, let's go to the org. Let's go to setup. We already did this step for staff, but let's say that you don't want to configure the view or the application for staff members. You just want to do it for your clients. Let's review the steps again pretty quick for configuring this for clients. So on the quick find, let's search for mobile and select Salesforce navigation. Let's just make sure the Salesforce mobile is on the selected tabs for Salesforce navigation. And something important that I forget also for staff users is that we need to make the Remedyforce mobile tab enabled for the profile. Actually, you need to do this process for all the profiles in your org that are going to use the Salesforce One mobile app. So in this case, I'm going to do it for clients. Let me just select the service desk client profile that I have in my org. And let me click edit. And here you can do Ctrl F and type mobile. And let's go to tabs, and here's the Remedyforce mobile. For this profile is hidden, but we need to change that to default on. And let's click save. So you need to do the same process for all the profiles, including for the staff that we just did, but we didn't check that because it was already enabled. But you need to do this process with all the profiles that are going to use the Salesforce One mobile app. Also, remember that you need to check that the user had permissions to use the connected app. Remember the checkboxes that we checked for the staff users. You need to make sure that this profile have the access to use the Salesforce One mobile app. As you could notice, both are using the same tab. What makes the difference are these two checkboxes, the Service Desk Staff checkbox and the Remedyforce Administrator checkbox. If a user have one of these checkboxes checked, it means that once they log in into the Salesforce One mobile app, they will be redirected to the view for staff users. If both checkboxes are unchecked, it means that once the user log in into the Salesforce One mobile app, they will be redirected to the self-service application. Now we can check how we can configure the self-service on Salesforce One mobile app. So here on this document, you will find some useful information about the self-service on the mobile app. Here there are a lot of points that you need to review, some considerations that you need to be aware of, but one of the most important ones is a specific setting that should be here. It is about the display in self-service checkbox. So you will find this checkbox on knowledge articles and request definitions. If the checkbox to display in self-service is not checked, basically the knowledge article and the request definition won't show up on the mobile application. So let me show you pretty quick for request definition how it looks like. So let's go to your org under the Remedyforce administration tab. Let's go to request definitions and let's pick a random one. In this case, I'm going to select the first one. Let's scroll down, and as you can see at the bottom, it says show in Remedyforce Mobile, and the checkbox is checked. So it means that this request definition will show up on the Remedyforce mobile app. So the same thing applies for knowledge article. You need to make sure that on each article that you want to display on the mobile app needs to have this checkbox checked, otherwise it won't show up on the mobile app. Let's go to the insert an object and field set again. So I would like to show you some of the field sets that controls some of the views that you have on the self-service mobile app. So the first view that I would like to show you is the submit a ticket form, but as we're using the self-service, basically it's the same one that we use for the self-service. So let's click on self-service ticket layout, and here on the mobile app, let's click on submit a ticket, and let's just compare the fields and category, urgency, impact, status, and description. Okay, so here let me just remove urgency. Let me go back to the application. Let me just log out of this ticket. Let's click submit a ticket again, and as you can see, there is no urgency listed right now. Okay, so the other field set that I would like to show you is once we select view tickets and request, let's go to the available field sets, and the one that I'm looking for is this one right here, view tickets and service request. Let's compare the fields. Let me open the mobile app, and as you can see here, the first field is the description, then type, and then open date. So in order to prove that what I'm saying is correct and test it, let me add the client VIP field just in case. Let me click save, and let's open the app again, view tickets and request, and as you can see, the field was added correctly. So here are the references that you can check again if you want to get more information, or if you have any question and you want to review the information, you can take a look on those links. And on this webinar, we review how we can set up and configure the service desk and self-service on Salesforce One mobile app. We only review the basics to start using the Salesforce One mobile app as a staff user and a client user. There are some other considerations that you can review, also some other features that we couldn't review in this webinar, but I think that probably those could be improve your experience using the mobile app. And remember that this webinar is going to be available on our YouTube channel after this session in case you want to review that again. If you have any technical issue, remember that you can contact technical support via web, phone, or email. And remember to follow us on all our social media, BMC communities, Facebook, and Twitter. Thanks for watching this BMC Helix Remedyforce webinar about how to use the Salesforce mobile app.